Hello, everybody. Welcome to LettermenRow.com. I am Jeremy Birmingham. This is Birminology. We are in our, path around the country trying to talk to all of the top targets on the Ohio State recruiting board. Today, we're staying focused on the class of 2022 and going down to Memphis, Tennessee to Dallan Hayden. Dallan, thanks for taking some time and joining the show. How are you?
Oh, well, thanks for having me.
You guys are playing football down in Tennessee. You've had 4 weeks. You're undefeated, correct?
No, sir. We lost one game. We're 4-1 right now.
Well, look at that. I like to just throw that out there and make you feel terrible right off the bat. So you have had a pretty decent start to the year. You told me over 1,100 yards rushing, 15 touchdowns. How does it feel just to be back on the field with everything that's gone on in the last 6-7 months? Obviously, there was probably a moment or two of doubt of whether or not that would happen.
It feels good to be back on the field, playing with my teammates, because at first, we were very doubtful about having a season due to COVID-19. So every day, like our coach tells us, is a gift because it could get shut down at any point.
What are you guys doing as a team to make sure that doesn't happen? I mean, are there special protocols? Is it just making sure nobody's hanging out? Like, how do you avoid that?
Everybody just kind of has to take responsibility on their own and make wise decisions and not hang out in big groups and practice social distancing.
As a member of the class of 2022, you have no doubt had a rash of phone calls, text messages, etc. in the last 3 weeks from college coaches. Who are you hearing from the most? What schools are really in touch, and who are you building the best relationships with right now?
I'm hearing from Ohio State a lot, Notre Dame, Tennessee, Georgia, Virginia Tech, and that's about it so far.
Your father played at Tennessee before playing in the NFL. How much pressure is there in your mind to stay home? Is there any sort of push from him to say, hey, you should follow this legacy, or is it about building your own?
No, he just tells me make the best decision for myself. He's not pushing me towards Tennessee at all. Everybody in the state wants me to stay at home, but my dad just says make the best decision for me because it's my decision.
Well, staying home would mean you would play for the Memphis Tigers, not the Tennessee Volunteers.
Yes, sir.
I mean, if we're calling it down the middle. You said you brought up Ohio State. Correct me if I'm wrong, because apparently that's what it's going to be, the type of show where I'm just wrong a lot. You actually lived in Columbus for a couple of years, correct?
Yes, sir. I lived there for 2 years.
When was that?
I was a baby. I think I was 2 years old.
So it's not like you have any fond memories of the city of Columbus at this point.
Not really. I just remember how cold it was.
It's certainly a little different than Tennessee weather-wise, but which representatives are you hearing from at Ohio State? I assume Tony Alford, the running backs coach, of course, who recruits Tennessee and running backs. Who else are you hearing from?
Mainly Coach Alford and Coach Day.
What's their message for you? I mean, what is the pitch? Obviously, the Buckeyes have 2 top-ranked 2021 running backs committed. What are they telling you as a member of 2022 about the opportunity there?
They just tell me that I'm a guy they want because not only does my play fit their style, but I'm a good man off the field, and they said I'll be a good representation of their program.
Is there, any different level of that relationship right now with Ohio State than other schools, or is everyone kind of on equal footing with you?
Everybody's equal right now. I feel like I am building good relationships with the schools that are talking to me the most. But yeah, I wouldn't say one just stands out the most right now.
Has there been contact with the Ohio State commitments in your class? Ironically, Bennett Christian, who just committed to Ohio State 2 weeks ago, his father played at Tennessee, and I guess I wonder if Bennett specifically has reached out to you about how he felt making the decision to not go to Tennessee where his dad played.
No, he hasn't. I haven't really talked to him. Yeah.
Are you hearing from CJ Hicks or any of the other guys in that class, or is it still mostly just been the coaches?
Just mostly the coaches.
Is there, for you as you start to really narrow this down, obviously you can't make college visits yet. Where have you been in the past that you're able to sort of set up, what you want and expect to see in the future?
I've been to Tennessee a lot. Uh, went to Georgia, been to Bama a couple times, and that's probably about it, really.
Do you think that your process, I mean, I actually see a lot of kids in your class that are like committing earlier than I thought that they would. Are you of the mindset that like you should hurry, or is this I'm not going to do this stuff until I get to take visits?
A little bit of both. Like I feel like I need to make a decision, like after seeing all the places that I like the most, because yeah, like due to the dead period and all this COVID-19 stuff, I haven't been able to take many visits.
Has that soured your recruitment at all? Like, does it frustrate you? Is it something you're just like, hey, what can I do? How has that changed the way that you approach the recruiting process?
I mean, it's a little frustrating because, like I said, I wanted to visit a lot of places that are talking to me right now, and I can't, unfortunately. But I know there's really nothing I can do about that, so I'll just have to visit when the time is necessary.
How do you describe your game, and what's changed for you from a sophomore year to now? I mean, you're a 4-star rated athlete. Some schools, I guess, must be recruiting you to play a different position than running back, but that's where Ohio State sees you. So, what's changed in your game from a year ago to now, where you're starting to hear from all these schools like the Buckeyes?
Obviously, my weight is much different than it was when I was a sophomore. I feel like I'm faster this year than I was last year, and feel like I'm moving more explosive this year than I was last year.
Do you have like a player you've watched that you kind of emulate, or someone that whose game you feel like you closely, match up with?
I actually have like a lot of running backs. I feel like my game like is kind of like theirs. So yeah, I have a lot of backs in the NFL.
Who's your all-time favorite running back?
Like all time or right now or like all time?
Yeah, whatever. Who's the guy that you're like, that's the dude, like that's the dude at running back?
Right now, I'm gonna have to say Christian McCaffrey.
He's a really versatile player, and I think that's what makes him so different than other guys around the league who are maybe not as capable of damaging defenses, in multiple ways.
He's a
Is there a type of offense that you think that you're best suited for? What do you want? What are you looking for in an offense as you get to the next level?
just an offense that like can give me opportunities, like to get it up in there a couple times, and also like get outside in the space because I feel like when I'm in space, I can make it happen.
I want to talk to you, Dallan, a little bit about your charity work. You're working to raise money for coaches for literacy, correct?
Yes, sir. That's correct.
Can you tell me and our readers, listeners, watchers a little bit about that and what you're doing specifically and how the efforts have gone so far?
Yeah. So every time I score this year, money is donated. A certain amount of money is donated per touchdown for the organization Coaching for Literacy, and that is helping like kids who struggle with reading and writing to like get help because they don't usually have the resources to be able to receive the help to like practice those skills. So I just wanted to make like help them out with that.
What prompted you to do that? I mean, obviously, you see a lot of athletes around the world using their platform for, different reasons, but you don't see it a lot of times with young guys like yourself. What was the impetus behind that? What kind of forced you to say, hey, this is something I can help with?
When I was a little kid, I struggled with reading and writing, and my parents got me the help that I needed to like improve on those skills. So that's what motivated me to do this.
How much money have you helped raise so far?
I think I've raised 18,000 so far.
18. Is there, I mean, I know the NCAA is weird about this stuff, but is there any way, is there a place people can go to donate money for that? Or is it like a set thing? Like you score, this amount gets put in, or how does that work?
Yeah, it's every time I score, a certain amount gets put in, like to the total.
So is there any way that people can add to it?
Yes, sir. You just click the link and add as much money as you want to.
And is that on your Twitter profile?
Yes, sir. It's pinned.
Okay, I'll make sure that we put that in the story when this comes out. But Dallan, I want to, what is the plan for you if recruiting dead period likely ends probably not till January? What's an ideal situation for you moving forward? Is it, have a decision made by next summer, something by the end of your senior season, or, how do you want that to go?
I really want to make a decision probably the end of this summer, like the summer before my senior season. I don't want to wait till like the end of my senior season to make a decision.
I'm going to ask us a few more things here, and I'll let you get on your way with your day. When you watch Ohio State and you saw the effort Ohio State put into getting the Big Ten to come back to playing football this fall, what is your reaction as a recruit who's talking to Ryan Day and talking to Tony Alford? Because you obviously see the frustration when they're not playing, but I mean, as a recruit, do you look at them and be like, "Hey, those dudes really are giving their all," or is it is it in being down there in SEC country, or is it like, "Hey, the SEC likes this football more"? I mean, what's the reaction?
I feel like they're gonna give it their all because they like fought to the end till the Big Ten would allow them to play, and it makes me feel like that staff is committed in helping their student athletes.
What's been the early impression, not necessarily even from you, but from your father, who, again, he as a Tennessee guy, he probably has a little bit of implicit bias that he can't help. But what does he think of Tony Alford and Ryan Day? And, I guess then trickle that down to you. What has made those guys interesting to you as a player?
Just they've been reaching out like nonstop, not only to me but to both of my parents. And I think they think very highly of Coach Alford, not only as a football coach but as a man off the field.
Does it matter if your running back coach played running back?
Not really.
There's sometimes these random questions just pop into my head, and so I figure I may as well ask them. So, look, Dallan, I really appreciate you taking time. That's Dallan Hayden from Memphis, Tennessee. He's one of the country's best athletes in the class of 2022. I'm Jeremy Birmingham. This has been Birminology on Lettermen Row. Thanks for watching, everyone. We'll catch you next week.